as if someone or something was moving around. It was as if she was no longer the same cat. I could feel it in my bones, a deep, gnawing. What was she seeing? What was she waiting for? Her purrs were like a soothing melody that filled the room. She would sit unblinking, staring at me with those cold, hard eyes. It was as if she was trying to communicate something I couldn't quite grasp. Her gaze was piercing, almost as if she could see right through me. Gone were the playful swats and the gentle nudges for attention. She no longer chased after her favorite toys or curled up in my lap. The lively spirit that once defined her seemed to have vanished. Her eyes, once filled with curiosity and affection, vacant look. It was as if she was a different creature altogether. It was like she no longer recognized me, or worse, like she was something else entirely. There was an eerie, almost supernatural quality to her demeanor that sent chills down my spine. Her once soft meows were now low growls. The gentle sounds that used to greet me were replaced by menacing noises that echoed through the house. They sent shivers down my spine. Each growl was a reminder that something was terribly wrong, that the Whiskers I knew was no longer there. I tried to convince myself it was just her way. Maybe she was just going through a phase, or perhaps she was reacting to some unseen stress. I searched for logical explanations, clinging to the hope that she would return to her old self. But deep down I knew the truth. The change in her was too profound, too unsettling to be dismissed as a mere phase. There was a darkness in her eyes that I couldn't ignore. Whiskers was gone. In her place, a malevolent force had taken over her body, turning her into a creature I no longer recognized. The bond we once shared was shattered, replaced by a growing... One night, I woke with a sudden start. A crushing weight sat heavily upon my chest. I could barely breathe. My heart hammered wildly against my ribs. Opening my eyes, I saw her. It was contorted into a grotesque, terrifying snarl. Her eyes blazed with an unholy, intense light. Rows of sharp, pointed teeth were bared in a silent, menacing snarl. They weren't the teeth of a normal house cat. Monster. Fear, raw and primal, surged violently through me. This creature, this thing wearing my cat's skin, was about to strike. I thrashed wildly, desperate to escape, my heart pounding pounded in my chest, each beat echoing like a drum in the confined space. The darkness seemed to close in around me, suffocating and oppressive. I could feel the weight of the creature pressing down on me, its breath hot and rancid against my skin. Every muscle in my body screamed in protest as I fought to break free from its grasp. The creature hissed, a sound like nails on a chalkboard. It was a chilling, bone-rattling noise that sent shivers down my spine. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent light, piercing through the darkness and locking onto mine. I could see the sharp glint of its teeth, bared in a menacing snarl. The air was thick with tension, and I knew I had to act fast if I wanted to survive. I bucked again, throwing it off of me. With a surge of adrenaline, I managed to push the creature away, its claws scraping against my skin as it tumbled to the ground. My body ached from the effort, but I couldn't afford to stop. I had to keep moving, had to find a way out before it recovered and came after me again. Scrambling to my feet, I stumbled back. My legs felt like jelly, barely able to support my weight as I staggered away from the creature. Fear coursed through my veins, propelling me forward despite the pain. I could hear the creature stirring behind me, its low growl sending a fresh wave of terror through my body. My eyes darted around the room, searching for an escape. The dim light cast eerie shadows on the walls, making it difficult to see clearly. I could make out the outline of a door in the distance, but it seemed impossibly far away. Every second counted, and I knew I had to reach it before the creature caught up to me. The creature landed with a soft thud. Its movements were almost graceful, a stark contrast to the chaos it brought with it. I could feel its eyes on me, watching my every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The tension was palpable, and I knew I had to stay one step ahead if I wanted to survive. It crouched low to the ground, its eyes never leaving me. The intensity of its gaze was unnerving, a constant reminder of the danger I was in. I could see the muscles in its body tensing, ready to pounce at any moment. My mind raced, trying to come up with a plan to outsmart it and make my escape. I had to get out. The thought echoed in my mind, a mantra that kept me moving forward. My hand reached out, fingers brushing against the cold, hard surface of the door. I could feel the creature closing in, its presence a dark shadow looming over me. Desperation fueled my actions, and I knew I had to act quickly, had to get away from this thing. My legs pumped furiously, carrying me towards the door with every ounce of strength I had left. The room seemed to blur around me, a whirlwind of shadows and fear. I could hear the creature's footsteps behind me, a constant reminder of the danger that lurked just a few steps away. I bolted for the bedroom door, my heart pounding in my ears. The sound was deafening, drowning out everything else as I focused on my escape. My hand grasped the doorknob, twisting it frantically as I threw the door open. The hallway beyond was dark and foreboding, but it was my only chance at freedom. I didn't dare look back. Fear propelled me forward, my feet barely touching the ground as I sprinted down the hallway. The creature's presence was a constant weight on my mind, but I couldn't afford to let it slow me down. Every step brought me closer to safety, and I clung to that hope with everything I had. I could feel its eyes on me, burning into my back. The sensation was almost physical, a searing heat that urged me to keep moving. I knew that if I slowed down, even for a moment, the creature would be upon me. My only option was to keep running, to put as much distance between us as possible. The hallway stretched out before me, a seemingly endless path to freedom. Section 5. I barricaded myself in the bathroom, the smallest room in the house, the safest, or so I thought. I could hear it prowling outside, scratching at the way at my sanity. The walls felt like they were closed. Section 6. The Hunt. Hours turned into an eternity. The scratching at the door stopped. Silence. But it wasn't a comforting silence, it was the silence of a predator stalking its prey. I knew it was out there, waiting, biding its time. My fear morphed into dread. A cold, hard knot in the pit of my stomach. Sleep was impossible. Every creak of the house, every rustle of leaves outside my window sent my heart racing. I was living on borrowed time. The doorknob rattled. I held my breath, my eyes began to turn. The creature was inside the house. Panic surged through me. I scanned the small bathroom, desperate for any way out. There was none. The door creaked open, revealing a set of glowing eyes. The creature smiled, a chilling, inhuman grin that stretched its face into a grotesque mask. It was over. The cold tile. There was nowhere left to run. The ground, its eyes never leaving mine. Revealing rows of needle-sharp teeth through the air. This was it. This was the end. A strange calm washed over me. I was resigned to my fate. I closed my eyes, waiting for the inevitable. But the attack never came. I opened my eyes slowly. The creature was gone. The bathroom was empty. Had it all been a dream? A hallucination brought on by fear? I didn't know what to believe. All I knew was that I was alone, utterly alone. Suddenly I felt a sharp pain in my chest. I looked down. Protruding from my chest were the claws of my once beloved cat. Blood blossomed, staining my shirt crimson. The creature was no longer a figment of my imagination. It was real. It leaned down, its hot, fetid breath on my cheek. It whispered in my ear, its voice a raspy purr. "You were always a good pet." Then it was gone, and so was I.